Executive session in the Wayne Board of Education, Public Works session meeting of April 9th, 2026 was convened in the conference room of the administrative offices of the Board of Education, 50 Nellis Drive, Wayne, New Jersey. Statement of compliance setting forth date, time, and location was read in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Roll call was taken. This meeting is recessed and now being reconvened. Please stand for a flag salute followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is one of the best times of year as we get into the month of April. May comes with even more recognition, all culminating into the June when we celebrate our students. But this time of year when we get a lot of also national recognition for programs celebrating our employees and what we do in our schools. So one of the things we want to do is recognize this is also Assistant Principal Week. It's a National Assistant Principal Week, so we're grateful for the enormous contributions that our Wayne School assistant principals make every day to help our students. They're role models. They assist our students and our families with any communications and support they need. We thank them for their commitment and resilience and the care they bring to work every day. We're proud of each and every one of them and for their leadership. And our schools are no doubt stronger because of that. Also, doing such incredible work in our schools are paraprofessionals. You spend time in the classroom with your paraprofessionals and see that the work and commitment they have to the one-on-one needs with students. It's really incredible. So Paraprofessional Day was celebrated on April 1st. It's an honor to recognize and celebrate the paraprofessionals for their hard work and dedication to our schools. Paraprofessionals play a critical role in supporting our teachers, students, and providing valuable classroom assistance. The district has done so much over the past few years and elevated our standards for our students, and it wouldn't be possible without our paraprofessionals. So we recognize the vital role they play, and we thank them for everything they do to make our schools a better place to learn and work. We also have World Autism Month. Every April, Autism Speaks celebrates World Autism Month, beginning with the United Nations sanctioned identified World Autism Month as April 2nd. April is Autism Awareness Month. It's time to increase our understanding of the autism spectrum and understand and encourage acceptance and inclusion and celebrate the unique strengths and abilities that children on the spectrum do have. I know there will be a presentation tonight on chronic absenteeism by Dr. Kazmark, and just a reminder that all schools will be closed on April 16th for that very special primary election that will be taking place in our schools. So just a reminder. One last thing I do want to share with anyone from the public that's here. I was invited just prior to spring break to see the photo the photo department at Wayne Hills. They had an exhibit on the photo, and it was amazing work by the students, and we had the opportunity to purchase some photos. So here's some photographs that I was able to purchase. I just think it was just amazing. It's going great in the superintendent's office. Reminds us of what we're here for. This one I really loved. It's just the students in the stands, just being happy to be there, the smiling faces. Again, a reminder to everyone in education why we're here. And this one just felt a special place to me. I love the scene of New York City. I thought the student did a great job with the black and white, and always has great memories for me, this view of Lower Manhattan. So I want to thank the students that contributed to the exhibit, and for their staff for getting me back the pictures that I purchased. So thank you.
Dr. Kazmark.
So I'll be quick. The state of New Jersey requires us to present on chronic absenteeism yearly. So it is available through the school performance reports, which are on the Department of Ed's website. They update this yearly, so the new reports should be up. Usually it's sometime in this month, although they are not updated yet. A student is considered chronically absent if they miss 10% or more of the school days that they are currently in. So that means if you were absent for the month of September, 2 days that month would be considered chronically absent because we would only have been in school for 1 month. In New Jersey, students are considered chronically absent if they are 18 or more. It doesn't matter whether they're excused or unexcused absences in a school year. And when students are considered chronically absent, 10% or more of them, the school's required to complete a corrective action plan. Last year, we had double the amount of schools with over 10%, so this year we only have 3. So Ryerson at 10.4%, this is almost a 10% deduction to where they were last year. Last year they were over 20%. Schuyler at 12.1% and GW at 16%. There were 5 schools last year that had chronic absentee rates over 10%. So in the corrective action plan, each one of those 3 schools has done surveys of families to identify reasons and barriers that may be contributing to school attendance. And then they each have separate plans. They're not the same plans for each school. They each have separate plans to identify ways to increase and continue with attendance. Every one of them has some version of clubs or activities that are happening after school to keep kids excited about coming to school, incentive programs for consistent attendance, and each one has a system for coordinated check-ins with families and students.
I'll just add to that, I know one of the principals was talking to me about a concerned parent about because they received a letter. We send out letters as reminders when students hit certain absentee mark. Because the last thing you want to do is, tell a parent that, listen, your child is chronically absent because you hit the 18th day. You want to send out when they're absent 5 times, when they're absent 10 times, when they're absent 13 times, just, so they're aware the impact that it has. And by no means are we trying to be punitive to parents by sending letters out. We just want parents to be knowledgeable of it. And it's important because just like anything else, the more you're there, the more you see, obviously the better chance we have to educate you and get you on grade level for where you're supposed to be. And one thing I always like to talk to parents about, and, it's kind of like parents don't understand, like, well, it's an excused absence. I said, well, it is an excused absence, and the state really recognizes you can be absent up to 18 times, and you have 180 days to be here. So 18 times, that's a lot. And I know a lot of people work, and you don't have that many days in which you can be absent in your line of work. So if I say to parents all the time, if you're gonna go to extend a little family trip to Florida, that's great. I want you to do that. It's a great learning time. But you still have to do it within those 18 days. And if your child's going to be sick, to do it within those 18 days. That's a lot of days, to over 180 days to be absent. Now again, does something happen? Do children become ill and something serious happens, or there's a serious matter in the family that goes beyond it? Sure. And we can look at that, and we can look at waivers for that. But the goal of the whole program is to really identify that we need your kids in school. We need them there because we have a better chance of making a difference in their lives when they're there in the seats with us.
Okay. Revisions to the agenda.
Okay. Under section R, emergent administrative, we're going to add number 4, approval of Future Ready Schools Advisory Committee. Be it resolved that the Wayne Township Board of Education hereby establishes the Future Ready Schools Advisory Committee as an advisory committee to the board, consistent with applicable board policy and the board's authority to form committees in support of its work, and that this action is consistent with Wayne Township Board Policy Number 0155. Make recommendations to the board and act in an advisory capacity, but are not authorized to act on behalf of the board.
At this point, we will open the meeting to the public for agenda items only. This portion of the meeting is open to the citizens for comment on agenda items only. Residents are to state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person. Members of the public are discouraged from speaking negatively about an employee or a student. The board bears no responsibility for comments made by the public. Comments regarding employees or a student cannot be legally responded to by the board. Other comments may be responded to tonight or at a subsequent meeting under old business. Do I have a mover? Mr. Agnes, Mr. Hay. Anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Seeing no one, move to close.
Mr. Faber? Do I have a mover for the agenda?
Move
Mr.
it.
Faber, Mr. Paul. The committees that met tonight. Mrs. Rigoloso.
Okay, so I have a little bit of an update for the Education Committee. We discussed a few items. The first one I want to talk about is the new partnership with the Wayne Education Foundation to hold Safety Town this summer. Registration began last month, and we are very excited that we are able to continue the tradition of holding this program for all our incoming kindergarten students. I know my kids all went through it and they loved it. It was such a wonderful introduction to starting the kindergarten festivities. The committee also reviewed some proposal updates to the middle school track. This month, the district will update families about changes to the criteria and appeal process for the next school year. A couple other things we talked about were the resource room program. There is a meeting next Tuesday, Anthony Wayne Middle School, 6:30. We will have a rep there. Please come to have all your questions answered. We also talked about the elementary enrollment update. We talked about the new curriculum resources for 26-27. We talked about summer school change. And lastly, we talked about the presidential award. The Department of Education has no longer, has discontinued the presidential award. So what we did in the Wayne District, we decided to replace it with the Superintendent Award. So our middle schoolers will have a nice award, and you'll find out about it more at the end of the year. Thank you.
Mr. Agnes.
So tonight, earlier this evening, the Finance Committee met, and it's pretty simple. We discussed a couple of transportation agreements with South Bergen Joint Commission, Sussex County Regional Cooperative Transportation. We discussed to dispose of any obsolete and surplus equipment, pretty much included 3 vans and 2 wheelchairs to salvage. There was some recycled tech that we'll be disposing of. We also discussed some future plans for the budget, which is, still waiting. We're waiting to hear back from the county for. We're looking at some contracts for behavioral services, professional development, and potentially going out for RFPs for auditors, architects, and potentially health insurance brokerage.
Anybody else? The Citizens Budget Committee met on Tuesday night. We addressed some outstanding questions, Mr. Sedadino, that had come up since our last meeting. Mr. Marco spoke about the county submission of our budget and where we are now. The committee discussed shared services, enrollment, and infrastructure, the impact of the increase in enrollment with the new housing developments, and also a possibility of a future referendum. We also looked at contingency planning should the state or county force us to change our budget, and we will get, and then the committee will be meeting within the next couple of weeks once we get our budget back from the county. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Faber?
Yes.
Mr. Hayman?
Yes.
Mrs. Lemandry is absent. Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Prusakis is absent. Mr. Agnes?
Yes.
Mr. Eloquin?
Yes.
Mrs. Rigoloso?
I'm just gonna abstain on T8, item 1.
and Yeswal.
Mr. Wall.
Mr. Pavla?
Yes, and I'll abstain on HRT-8.
All motion passes.
At this time, portion of the meeting will open to citizens for comment on any topic. Residents are asked to state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments may be limited to 5 minutes per person. Members of the public are discouraged from speaking negatively about an employee or student. The board bears no responsibility for comments made by the public. Comments regarding employees or students cannot be legally responded to by the board. Other comments may be responded to tonight or at a subsequent meeting under old business. Do I have a mover? Mr. Heyman? Mr. Atkins? Anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Seeing no one, move to close.
The old business, new business, board member comments. Again, as Mrs. Riglosa said, just a reminder, as we said, we were going to hold a special ed roundtable concerning changes that were proposed by the administration. That'll be next Tuesday night, 6:30 at Anthony Wayne. That'll be out in the newsletter tomorrow. The Citizens Advisory, the new Citizen Advisory Committee that the board formed tonight, they will be taking a deeper look into future of the Wayne schools. It's really a future-ready school advisory committee. We saw how well the budget committee is working, and so now we're going to start expanding even further. The idea behind this committee is simple. We want the community members to have a voice. We will look at our school buildings, how they're being used, how enrollment may be changing, and what the impact of the continued residential growth is to the district. The committee will be advisory only. It's not created to make decisions, but rather to review information, ask questions, and provide input to the board. And also for transparency. We were hoping to do it in April. It's probably not going to happen until the beginning of May. We will have our demographer in. The demographic study will be released to the public. But we're hoping to get that in early May as soon as we can. We're still putting final touches on it due to the ever-changing landscape of building that's happening. And we'll go forward from there. Leave it at that. All right. Motion to adjourn. In favor, Mr. Paul. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.